There's a lot of beauty in natural sunlight, but sometimes you might want to achieve a look that has more diffusion instead of harsh shadows. For these situations, you might use a diffuser. We made this one for our feature film that I'm currently working on. It's 10 by 10 feet and worked quite well. We had to be out in the sun all day and I found that it made the actors squint less. They didn't sweat profusely and it gave us some really nice even tones on the skin.
Today we'll be building a miniature version of this that one of your crew members can actually hold up and block some of the sunlight with. Enough jabber, let's get going.
First things you'll need are a few pieces of wood. These are going to serve as your frame for your diffuser. I got these 1 inch by 2 inch by 8 foot long pieces at my local hardware store for $1 each. At the same hardware store I got these fancy framing nails. They cost me $1 as well. This is some cloth tape that I had in my garage left over from a shoot we did. I don't remember exactly how much it costs, but you could get yourself some duct tape for $3 at your hardware store, which will serve you just the same. Finally, I stopped at my local fabric store and found this light see-through material called white sun linen. It ran $6. You could try using a sheet as well. This really is a pretty inexpensive way to block some of that harsh natural sunlight out. First thing you're going to want to do is measure the wood. Mine is right on at 8 feet. The linen that goes over the frame is a yard, so I'm going to measure just under 3 feet to make sure that I have room for that. I'm using this miter saw kit to get a good 45-degree angle cut on the wood here. You can see how the pieces fit together really well to get our frame started. Now we're going to use that piece as our template for all the other cuts. It's really important that you measure out these cuts really precisely so that your frame fits together well. Those two are dead on. Now I'll just have to do 2 more and we'll have our full frame. Next I'm going to lay them out and just make sure everything fits together fairly well so I don't have to tweak anything, and this looks good. These framing nails are basically going to be your main way of holding the frame together, but we're going to have a few other ways of really stabilizing this frame also. Now it's important to check the nail because one side is going to be sharp and that's going to go against the wood. The frame's still going to be a little bit weak at this point, but our next step is really going to help strengthen that up. So we put the cloth over the top of it and I'm going to go ahead and start stapling it on. If you don't have a staple gun, you can also use small nails and bend them over. I'm pulling the sides tight as I'm stapling, but I don't want to pull it too hard because I don't want to rip this delicate fabric. And voila! Next I'm going to hammer down all these nails just as a safety precaution. You don't want to get cut on those. Now I'm going to trim outside the staples just to get rid of some of that excess cloth. Now that's a lot better, but just to add a little bit more stability and for a clean finish, we're going to use this tape here. Now I'm going to flip it over and just hit the corners of this with the staple gun. I'm also going to tape the entire other side and that's it. Boy, it'd be a shame to waste this extra fabric. Now we're going to have an assistant hold this up for us and let's get started.
It's got to be yours.
I tell you he's not my son, Babette. How many times must we have this discussion?
Well, why does he always say, tell Dad I